She set down her mat in the corner of the park, ready for her usual morning yoga. The air was fresh, sunlight soft, and everything seemed peaceful, until a dog appeared. At first, she smiled, thinking it was just a curious visitor. But in the blink of an eye, the moment turned into something no one could have predicted. The dog's actions left her shaken, the crowd frozen, and soon the entire story spread far beyond that park. What happened next shocked the world, making headlines everywhere. Maya was a young woman who believed in discipline, balance, and finding peace in the middle of chaos. A college student by day and a part-time yoga instructor by evening, she often began her mornings practicing yoga in the park near her apartment. It was her sanctuary, a place where worries seemed to melt away with every breath and every pose. That morning was no different. The sky was clear, the grass still damp with dew, and a few people strolled by, sipping coffee or jogging with earbuds in. She laid her mat down, smoothed it with her palms, and began her warm-up stretches. The world around her faded as she inhaled deeply, exhaled slowly, and flowed into her sequence. Downward dog, cobra, mountain pose, each transition smooth and deliberate. She had no idea her life was about to intersect with a story that would make headlines. It started with a bark. At first, faint in the distance. Then closer, sharper. Maya opened her eyes from a pose to see a dog sprinting across the park, leash dragging behind it. It was medium-sized, brown and white, and its ears flopped as it ran. She thought nothing of it. Dogs often roamed the park with their owners. She even smiled, expecting the dog to pass by. But it didn't. The dog came directly toward her, full speed. She froze mid-pose, uncertain whether to move or stay still. Before she could decide, the animal skidded to a stop right in front of her mat, its eyes locked onto her. For a second, there was silence. Then, in a move that stunned everyone nearby, the dog lunged forward, not in attack, but in desperation. The leash tangled around Maya's arm as the dog whined, tugging her toward the far end of the park. She stumbled, confused, trying to free herself. At first, she thought it was playful. But then she noticed its frantic eyes, the urgency in its movements. It wasn't trying to hurt her, it was trying to lead her somewhere. "Wait, stop," she called out, struggling to keep her balance. Joggers and bystanders turned, some ready to intervene, others just staring. But before anyone could act, Maya found herself dragged several yards before the dog finally stopped, barking furiously at a dense patch of bushes. Her heart pounded as she followed its gaze. The sound that came next froze her in place, a faint cry, muffled and weak. She stepped closer, pushing aside branches, and what she saw made her knees nearly buckle. There, hidden in the undergrowth, was a little girl, no older than 5, her face pale, her hair tangled, her small body trembling. She had been missing for hours, though Maya didn't know it yet. The news would later reveal that the child had wandered away from her family during a morning outing, and frantic parents had been searching nearby streets. The dog, it turned out, had been the family's own, chasing after her but unable to bring help, until it found Maya. Maya dropped to her knees, her training in mindfulness suddenly replaced by instinct and urgency. She reached out carefully, speaking softly to the girl, "It's okay, you're safe now." The child whimpered, clutching a scraped knee and holding her stomach from hunger. Tears streaked her cheeks, but when she saw the dog beside Maya, her tiny hands reached out. The animal nuzzled her gently, letting out a whine that sounded almost like relief. By now, a crowd had gathered. Phones were out, recording the astonishing moment. Some people dialed emergency services, others gasped, and a few parents rushed in, realizing it was the girl from the missing child alert circulating that very morning. The girl's mother collapsed in tears when she reached her, scooping her into her arms while thanking Maya again and again. The dog wagged its tail furiously, finally relaxing as if its mission had been completed. But the shockwave wasn't over. Within hours, footage of the event spread across social media. Headlines appeared, yoga session turns into miracle rescue, and dog leads woman to missing child in park. What people couldn't stop talking about was not just the rescue, but the strange way it unfolded. If Maya hadn't been there, calmly practicing yoga, the dog might never have convinced anyone to follow it. In interviews later, Maya admitted she had almost panicked when the dog first lunged at her. "I thought it was going to bite me," she confessed, "but then I realized it wasn't aggression, it was desperation. The dog knew what it needed to do, and somehow, I became part of its plan." The girl, thankfully, made a full recovery. She had wandered into the park's wooded edge, gotten tangled in brambles, and been too frightened to find her way out. She was dehydrated and shaken, but alive, all because her loyal dog refused to give up. Maya's scars were invisible, but emotional. She couldn't stop replaying the moment, the leash wrapping around her arm, the frantic tug, the cry from the bushes. She realized something profound: sometimes life puts us exactly where we need to be, without explanation. She had gone to the park for peace, but ended up in the middle of a story that touched millions. The dog became a hero in every headline. Children painted pictures of it in school. The local mayor even awarded it a medal for bravery. Maya stood beside the family at the ceremony, humbled, never seeking credit but still called a hero by many. She shook her head and smiled. "The real hero," she said, "is right here on 4 legs." Yet the world wouldn't let go of the story. Late-night hosts joked about yoga becoming the new emergency service. Social media filled with hashtags like #YogaHero and #BraveDog. But underneath the humor was awe. People were reminded of the unspoken bond between humans and animals, the loyalty of a dog, and the courage it took for a young woman to trust her instincts in a moment of chaos. Maya went back to the park weeks later, mat under her arm, wondering if peace would ever feel the same. As she set it down, she saw the same dog trotting happily with its family, tail wagging. The little girl, now healthy and smiling, waved at her. And for the first time since that shocking day, Maya felt both peace and pride. Her scars weren't on her skin, but in her memory, and she wore them with honor. What started as a quiet yoga session had turned into a story that shocked the world, a story of instinct, trust, and the unbreakable bond between a girl and her dog. Now I want to know, where in the country are you watching this story from? Drop it in the comments below.